please put your phones in silent? Thank you. A pleasant morning to everyone. On behalf of the Department of Education, in partnership with the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, and the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, we warmly and enthusiastically welcome you to the celebration of the 2026 International Day of Education, with this year's theme, The Power of Youth in Co-Creating Education. My name is Nadine Sofia B. Kapanan of Grade 10 from General Pio del Pilar National High School, and I will be your host for today's ceremony. We are gathered today here at General Pio del Pilar National High School as we recognize the vital role of young people in shaping the future of education. With that, let us now formally begin our program. May we now request everyone to please rise for the invocation to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem and Bagong Pilipinas hymn.
O God, the creator of the heavens and the universe, you are worthy of our praises. In you alone, we pray and submit ourselves, for we are nothing without you. We humbly ask for your forgiveness and mercy. Dear Lord, we gather here today with the intent of doing good in thy name. Guide us to the right path. May our efforts be blessed with insight, understanding, wisdom, and respect for all. May our deep faith in you give us strength to act honestly and well in all matters before us. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay.
Lupang hiningang, duyan ka ng magiting.
Sa manlulupi, di ka pa sisingil.
Sa dagat ang tulong, sa simoy at sa langit mong lugaw. May dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal.
Ang islap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning.
Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidiin.
Ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Panahon na ng pagbabago, dahil sa ito ay kinakailangan tayo na magtulong-tulong na paunlarin ang mahal nating bayan. Gawin ng pagbabago ang sa pag-asenso, magsikap na mabuti at ng tuminhaw tayo. Ipagmalaki natin sa mundo at ipamalas ang bagong Pilipino at bagong Pilipinas. Panahon na ng pagbabago at mamuna sa kahit anong larangan. Ay karangalan, ialay mo'y handog natin sa bayan. Ipagmalaki natin sa mundo at ipamalas ang bagong Pilipino at bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you. Please be settled down. To officially welcome our participants and acknowledge our distinguished guests, we are truly honored to be joined by the City Mayor of Makati, Honorable Maria Lourdes Nancy S. Binay. May we respectfully invite Mayor Nancy Binay to deliver her welcome remarks and acknowledgement.
Honorable Secretary Sonny Angara of the Department of Education, my batchmate and my seatmate in the Senate, UNICEF Secretary General Dr. Ivan Anthony Henares, UNICEF Country Representative Ms. Kyung Soon Kim, DepEd Assistant Secretary Celeste Leboro Co, and Assistant Secretary Georgina Ann Yang. Schools Division Superintendent of Makati, Dr. Evalu Concepcion, Pio del Pilar Principal Emmy Cahigal, officials from UNICEF, officials from UNACOM, and officials from SDO Makati, officers of the Supreme Secondary Learner Government, our hardworking educators and officials from our barangay poblacion, and the students of Pio del Pilar High School. A nice morning to everyone and welcome to Makati City. Today, the city of Makati is honored to be the venue of the global celebration of the International Day. I likewise wish to acknowledge partners from the Department of Education, our associates from the various international organizations, and fellow public servants who are present today. Your presence today brings credence to the idea that education is a shared responsibility. In Makati, education is our top priority. This commitment is more than just a policy. It is the continuation of a legacy started by my father, our former Vice President and Mayor Jojo Binay. Today, my administration carries that torch forward. We will invest heavily in our schools because we believe that education is the bedrock of peace, sustainable development, and inclusive growth. It is the most powerful tool we have to foster goodwill and unify our people. By equipping our youth with knowledge, We are not just preparing them for careers. We are building a stronger and more resilient nation. I hope you find today's celebration deeply inspiring. Once again, welcome to the city of Makati, and may we all continue to work together for the future of our children. Thank you, and mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Mayor Nancy Binay, for your gracious welcome and unwavering support for education. As part of this global observance, we are privileged to hear from esteemed leaders and institutions that continue to advance education, culture, and lifelong learning across nations. For our first celebratory message, may we now invite the Secretary General of the UNESCO National Commission of the Philippines, Mr. Ivan Anthony Henares. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone. Secretary Sani Angara, Mayor Nancy Binay, Kyung Sung Kim from UNICEF, and all the officials and employees of the Department of Education, the City Government of Makati, and UNICEF, of course, my colleagues at UNICOM, and the officials of the school. Good morning. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. The UNESCO National Commission of the Philippines joins the global community in the celebration of the 2026 International Day of Education with a theme, The Power of Youth, Co-Creating Education. Young people are at the center of education's power to transform the world. As lifelong learners, volunteers, peer educators, innovators, advocates, and future leaders, youth are not just participants in education. They are its driving force. Education is more than learning facts or mastering skills. It is where values are shaped, creativity is unlocked, and critical thinking grows, empowering youth to meet today's challenges and build a more inclusive, peaceful, and sustainable world. Around the world, young people are inspiring change, and the recent UNESCO Youth Forum showed just how powerful their voices can be. They didn't just attend, they led the conversation, adopting the forum's conclusions. These include a bold call to action, urging leaders to tackle the climate crisis with urgency, as well as practical recommendations on youth climate governance, greening education, sustainable innovation, ethical digital transformation, community resilience, and protecting cultural and natural heritage. UNESCO strives to ensure that young people are integral to decision-making processes, fostering spaces in which their insights are both acknowledged and acted upon. Initiatives including the SDG 4 Youth and Student Network and the UNESCO Associated Schools Network facilitate meaningful youth involvement in education beyond traditional classroom boundaries. On this occasion, UNICOM celebrates the resilience, passion, confidence, and potential of young people who keep learning no matter how much the world around them changes. Your ideas, voices, actions, and compassion are key to making a real difference in your communities and around the globe. As we celebrate the 2026 International Day of Education, UNICOM encourages the youth to actively engage in lifelong learning, uphold the values of solidarity and respect for diversity, and use education as a force for innovation and social transformation. May this celebration inspire you to learn with curiosity, act with responsibility, and lead with both purpose and heart, always for the common good. Happy International Day of Education. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Mr. Henares, for sharing UNESCO's enduring commitment to education and cultural development. We now call upon an organization that stands at the forefront of protecting children's rights and promoting quality education worldwide. May we invite Ms. Kyungsun Kim of UNICEF to deliver the second celebratory message. May we give her a round of applause.
Your Excellency, Secretary Angara of Department of Education, Honorable Mayor Nancy Binay of Makati, Secretary General Ivan Henares of UNESCO, education officials, teachers, and distinguished guests, dear students, friends, change makers, magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Magandang umaga. Today, as we celebrate the International Day of Education, we are not simply celebrating education itself. We are shining a spotlight on you. Your voice, your creativity, your courage, and your power to help shape the future of education in the Philippines and the future of the country. This year's theme, the power of youth in co-creating education, is more than a theme. It's an invitation, a reminder that the future of learning is not something that happens to you. It is something that you help build. I spent a lot of time as UNICEF representative looking at numbers and reading reports about education. But numbers don't tell the whole story. We do. And you do. Every single one of you is on a journey, and my job at UNICEF is to make sure that you have everything you need to succeed on that path. We know that right now, the world can feel a bit heavy. A bit is an understatement. It can feel very heavy. We talk about a learning crisis where many students struggle with reading and basic mathematics. We see challenges with mental health and the environment. But I'm not here to talk about problems. I'm here to talk about solutions, and the best solution can only be found with you, if not by you. I want you to remember that you're not defined by these challenges. You're essential to the solutions. You know the realities of education better than anyone. Your ideas, your insights, and your courage are indispensable in reshaping education, for it to be relevant, for it to simply work. The government's education plan calls for the whole of society efforts. You must realize that the whole of society includes you, young people. And this year is especially important because in 2026, the Philippines is the chair of Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN. Take it as an opportunity to spotlight solutions led by young people from the Philippines on the regional stage. Like here and learn from you on very many inspiring activities such as student-led tutoring programs, digital learning innovations, climate resilience projects, youth councils, etc. Here is my challenge to every young person in this room, and I'll keep it to 5. First, dare to speak up. Be honest when lessons are working and when they're not. Speak up about things that affect your learning, such as mental health and stress. Share your ideas on how schools can be places where everyone feels welcome and safe, and even thrive. Your experience matters. Your voice helps shape better education for everyone. Remember that. Dare to question. Question processes and methodologies that don't seem to work for learners. Question why mental well-being support in schools isn't always there for everyone, or why is that youth-friendly? A simple but genuine, how are you, really, may seem small, but can do a lot to help a classmate. So look around, ask questions, and check on each other. Change often starts with simple questions. Third, help each other. Propose solutions. It can seem overwhelming, but start where you are. Start with your class and classrooms. Set up peer support groups or buddy systems. Create safe spaces to talk about stress, bullying, or online pressure. Organize simple learning sessions for younger students in your community. Sometimes the best results don't come from big programs, but from students helping students. And we have seen that over and over in our work in UNICEF. Fourth, take the lead. Lead change wherever you are, whatever your role is in the class. And participate and lead climate resilient initiatives, including disaster preparedness education and or green school projects. And when you don't have, when you feel like you don't have what you need, ask for resources. Now, you also need to reduce screen time, right? And help each other reduce screen time and initiate things like outdoor play days or digital detox days. Use platforms like the Supreme Learner Government to advocate for safer schools and mental well-being support. Remember, leadership is not about titles. It's about action. Fifth, collaborate, cooperate. You don't have to do things alone. Work with your friends, classmates, teachers, and parents. Partner with local governments and youth organizations to make schools more inclusive and resilient. Connect with each other, with other schools, and share ideas like division-wide mental health. And so it's division-wide mental health campaigns, right? And then, participate in localized climate action. When young people work together, ideas grow, and changes can spread really fast. And remember to represent the younger ones who might not be able to speak as well as you do. No action is too small. No idea is too ambitious. Take a breath and do your part. UNICEF stands with you. We believe in you, and we work with the authorities and partners to make sure that you have what it takes to empower you, to give you tools, to give you resources. And we'll continue this journey with you to co-create the education you want, the education that you deserve, the education that will take this country to the next level, where every child can be healthy, educated, and protected. Maraming salamat. Let's go on it.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kim, for your insightful and inspiring message. Let us now proceed to the keynote segment for today's program. May we please welcome the Department of Education Secretary Sonny Angara. Let us give him a round of applause.
Maraming salamat po. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Kay ating very good friend and co-worker, seatmate for 11 years in the Senate, now Mayor Nancy Binay, Mayor of Makati. UNICOM SecGen, Dr. Ivan Henares. To our friends from UNICEF, Country Representative Kyung Sun Kim. Welcome, madam. You've been here 4 months, but I'm sure you've done a lot already. Chief of Education Aki Fushimi, is a constant companion on many of our events. Assistant Secretary Silet, Director Ian, Director Migo, to our SDS, Maria Evalu Concepcion Agusti, ASDS, Mark Voltaire Padilla, sa ating mga kasama ngayon sa Pio del Pilar, to our principal of course, lahat po ng officials of Makati, magandang umaga. Good morning to all our senior high or high school students. Senior high ba kayo? Anong grade tayo? 11? 7? 7. Junior high. Okay, all right. Well, malalaki kayo, hindi ako sanay. Sa probinsya, malilit kasi yung mga bata. But ibig sabihin, malusog, maganda, successful ang feeding program nila Mayor Nancy dito sa... That's also one of the programs of UNICEF to feeding. But happy International Day of Education to all of us. I think it's a great theme. Co-creating. I think are the previous speakers really emphasized yung role ninyo, mga kasama dito. Because yung gagawin nyo, education, you know, we were having coffee. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Kyung Sun Kim, education is a very complex thing. You know, it's not something, you know, you pour cement and you have a road. You have a covered court. Hindi ganon. Education, it's so many complex factors. Teaching, training our teachers, making sure the learning environment is sound, making sure now it even involves mental health and even goes to what you do at home, yung screens na policy na nabanggit. So it's very complex. And again, you know, we just received the EDCOM report last Tuesday, and marami pang gagawin talaga. Pero yung pangunahing, the main call of the EDCOM report is a sustained set of reforms over 10 years and a whole of society approach. Hindi lang whole of government, whole of society. Bakit whole of society? Kasi nga sa bahay, nakita na domestic abuse cases are up. Many of our students are abused. Mental health cases are up. Many children are not being fed properly. That's why UNICEF has been pushing for the feeding program for many, many years. And I'm proud to say, under President Marcos's administration, when he came in 2022, the budget for school feeding was 3 billion pesos. And school feeding was conducted in certain grades for 60 days. Whereas now, we will have universal feeding for all public schools in the Philippines for kindergarten and grade 1, all for 180 days for the full school cycle, for the first time in Philippine history. So, and the budget is now almost 10 times more. It's 25.7 billion pesos. So this reflects the commitment of the Marcos administration to foundational learning. Anong ibig sabihin ng foundational learning? Yung pundasyon po. Dahil kung titingnan natin yung mga bansa na maunlad sa edukasyon, nakatutok po sila dun sa pundasyon. Pag mahina ang pundasyon, mahina din ang itatayong gusali o itatayong haligi. So definitely, yun. And it doesn't just involve what we teach in the classroom. It involves what we do at home, how we bring up our children. Doon pa lang sa sinapupunan, yung first 1,000 days, batas po namin nila Senator Nancy, na tinulak namin nila Senator Nancy, pero kailangan tutukan yung implementasyon na maayos po siya. So these are some of the things that we are doing at nabanggit nga, as host of ASEAN, we hope to pass a Manila Declaration on foundational learning. And kailangan sabihin nyo rin po sa ating mga magulang, bahagi din po sila nito. Dahil dun sa isang survey sa mga magulang, importante ba na matuto ang bata at 5 years old? Is it important for children to be in daycare or in kindergarten at 5 years old? 90% of parents said it's not important. So yun po yung attitude na kailangan natin baguhin. Dahil alam nyo naman siguro, mahalaga yan. At yun ang pundasyon, yun ang foundational learning. What we do in the early years matters. From 0 to 8 years old matters for the rest of the life, for the rest of the life of the learner. Because pag hindi po tama yung development ng utak or the brain of a child, actually the damage is irreversible according to the experts. And so limitado po yung makukuha, limitado po yung kikitain ng isang tao, limitado po yung kaya niyang gawing trabaho, limitado na rin po ang mabibigay niya sa kanyang mga anak, sa kanyang asawa at pamilya. So those are the consequences, the dire consequences of failing to invest in foundational learning. So yun po, not to sound too doom and gloom here, but Kami naman po sa DepEd, we're trying to shift the emphasis in learning to make it more fun and engaging. Kaya yung senior high school, pag naging senior high school na po kayo, unlike today na ikakahon kayo sa strand ng academic o kaya sa track ng TechVoc, mamimili kayo kahit di pa kayo sigurado anong gusto nyong gawin sa future. Ngayon, pwede kayong mag-take up ng art subjects, pwede kayong mag-take up ng science subjects. Ang i-require lang namin sa senior high school, 5 subjects lang po. Ito ay para din, pagpunta niyo sa koleyo, hindi na kayo paulit-ulit ng mga kukunan ninyo. So minimum po yun. Sa ngayon, parang kailangan 12 to 15 subjects ang kukunin ng senior high school students. Pero hindi na po yun. Dahil all over the world, tinignan po natin yung mga curriculum nila. At very minimal po sila. May premium on learner choice. Kung anong gusto ninyo, especially in the age of AI, everybody can learn anything science-related, math-related. The whole world is online, no? So it's up to you. Andiyan dyan yung mga oportunidad. Kami sa DepEd, ginagawa lang namin ay we're making these tools available to you, no? Whether it's Khan Academy, Canva, Google platforms for our teachers, Microsoft, all of these tools are available. The sad thing is, not all of our teachers make use of these. These tools enable our teachers to see the performance of their class, to constantly measure their students against national averages, against international averages even, because some of these are international-based assessments. So by all means, let's make use of our tools being made available to you by the department, really to maximize the learning of our students. So yun lang po, we really want to make things more fun, more engaging, because we realize this is a system that we all co-create together, and it's for the benefit of everyone. So yun lang po, maraming salamat. Happy International Day of Education.
Thank you very much, Secretary Sonny Angara. We would like to ask the DepEd Executive Committee to join Secretary Sonny Angara, Mayor Nancy Binay, Mr. Ivan Anthony Henares, and Ms. Kyungsun Kim for an official photo opportunity with the Secretary. At this time, we invite our participants to join our Secretary for the photo opportunity. May we kindly request everyone to stand for the group shot. Thank you very much. At this point, we will be having a short break.